Hello everyone, welcome to Thursday Tales. Today we'll start with Chapter 2 Parliamentary Government. Let's begin.
After PM Modi, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has visited Ladakh. A few days before, Prime Minister Modi visited Ladakh and met with Defence Forces. Now, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was on a tour of Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir and met the troops on the front. PM Modi gave a message to China and said that India is a peace-loving country.
Daddy, who is Rajnath Singh? Why he visited Ladakh?
Cherry, nice question. You must have knowledge in all fields of politics. I am impressed that you are taking interest in watching news with me, instead of wasting your time in watching cartoon shows. Rajnath Singh is the Honorable Defence Minister of India. It is the work of minister to look after a department of the government. This is the reason of his Ladakh tour.
Finally, I have completed my homework. Now let's go and watch the TV. Yay! Daddy, what are you watching on the TV? I have completed my homework.
Very good, Johnny. We are watching about Rajnath Singh's Ladakh tour.
Oh, great! I too read the newspaper headlines in the morning, in which it was written, PM Modi emphasizes on self-reliance. Modi uses Atmanirbhar and Atmanirbharta while addressing to the nation. But Daddy, tell me, why PM Modi addresses to the nation? Why not President?
Johnny, PM is the official spokesperson of the government, and President is not having powers to address to the nation. These powers are only with the PM.
But Daddy, you tell me, who appoints Prime Minister to enjoy these powers?
Prime Minister is appointed when he gets support of the majority in Parliament. President is having powers to make appointments of Prime Minister.
Daddy, what is Parliament? I heard about this word many a times in the news, but don't know what is its meaning. Yes, Daddy. I had never ever heard about it. Please explain us about it.
I am really proud that my children are taking interest in Indian politics. So, I will explain in detail. At least during lockdown, you will know something new. Come, we'll go out and discuss.
Yes, Daddy. Let's go out.
Johnny and Cherry, now listen to me very carefully. Constitution of India is the supreme document. Government of India functions according to Constitution. India is a democratic country. The democratic government can be of two types, parliamentary and presidential. In parliamentary form, Prime Minister is real head. He is directly elected and leader of majority party. In this, President is indirectly elected. Whereas in presidential form, President is the real head and not necessarily to be a leader of majority party. He is directly elected. This is the reason why Trump of America met Prime Minister Modi of India during Namaste Trump event in Sardar Patel Stadium in Ahmedabad, as position of president in presidential government are somewhat similar to Prime Minister's position of parliamentary government, as they both are real head.
But Daddy, tell me, why we are not following presidential form of government that Trump uncle's country follow?
Well, there are a number of reasons why we chose parliamentary democracy. Dear children, we can't compare one country with that of others. There are different circumstances prevailing in different nations. Like India is a vast nation in size and population. Then, our constitution framers were familiar with this system, as India was a British colony. This kind of government was flexible and efficient. Then it is responsive to public opinion and accountable to legislature.
Daddy, I am a bit confused. Is parliament and government same? What is actually government?
See, Government of India follows federal system in which there is central and state government. Government of India or central government is divided in three parts: legislature, executive and judiciary. Indian legislature means parliament. In India, we are having bicameral parliament in which there are two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So parliament is a part of government because parliament is same as legislature.
Cherry, you don't remember? Last year when we visited Delhi, we have seen the Parliament building. Remember? Oh yeah, I remember, Johnny. I'll ask Mama to show the photographs of our trip. You see the photographs later. Right now, let's understand about Lok Sabha. Daddy, please explain us.
Parliament has two floors where two different assemblies function. So, the ground floor is called the lower house. Lok Sabha is council of people. It means members of Lok Sabha represent nation's general public in central, who are selected by people on their behalf. They are elected on the basis of universal adult franchise. A person who is a citizen of India and at least 25 years of age can contest for Lok Sabha elections. The Lok Sabha has a maximum of 550 members, out of which 530 are elected from states and 20 from union territories. Lok Sabha is elected for a period of 5 years. It can be dissolved before and can be extended in case of emergency. Then the House chooses Speaker and Deputy Speaker. The Deputy Speaker and the Speaker functions accordingly, and they must not conduct any business. All the resolutions and bills can only be moved with his permission. And when there is a tie, the Speaker exercises a casting vote.
But Daddy, in which Sabha Mary Kom was elected?
Good question. Dear, she is appointed as a Rajya Sabha member. Both the houses are different. Don't get confused. Many such famous personalities like Sachin Tendulkar, Rekha, M.F. Hussain, Lata Mangeshkar were nominated members of Rajya Sabha.
Daddy, please explain about Rajya Sabha.
Rajya Sabha is the house that represents the interest of different states at the national level, and this is the first floor of the Parliament House, so it is called as Upper House. It comprises 250 members, out of which 12 are elected by a president. They are great personalities from art, music, sports and literature. The minimum age for Rajya Sabha is 30 years. Then Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. It can never be dissolved. The Vice President of India is the ex-officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Its deputy chairman is also chosen by members of House, and they control the proceedings of the House. In order to become a member of Parliament, there are many qualifications like he must be a citizen of India, he must not be of unsound mind, must not be insolvent, he must not hold an office of profit under the government. Understood?
Daddy, I understood about Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Vice President, Speaker, but I am not understanding the election process. Please explain the election process of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha.
See, Johnny and Cherry, this is a bit complicated. Listen very carefully. Lok Sabha elections are also called general elections. Members are directly elected by general public. Total 543 seats are divided into different states that are allocated on the basis of population. These candidates stand from different constituencies and represents a party. After voting the party that wins more than 50% seats, that forms the government. So, a party must have 272 seats in favor to win, out of 543. For example, in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, BJP won 303 seats, that is more than 50%. The leader of Lok Sabha is appointed as Prime Minister. The Lok Sabha members elects PM by voting.
Daddy, is this system same in Rajya Sabha of election?
No, it is very different, as the members are indirectly elected by the MLAs, that is, Member of Legislative Assembly. And here there is no electronic machine through which voting is done, but all the MLAs are given a ballot paper in which they have to tick mark according to their preferences, whom they want to choose. And then, according to the preferential basis, the proportional representation is calculated. So, this method is called as proportional representation by the single transferable vote.
Daddy, last year when we visited Delhi, why the people were sitting there down in the Shaheen Bagh?
The Shaheen Bagh protest was a sit-in peaceful protest that began in response to the passage of the Citizenship Amendment Act in both houses of Parliament on 11 December 2019. The Citizenship Bill was passed by the Lok Sabha with a majority of 311 votes against 80. And the bill was passed by the Rajya Sabha on 11 December 2019 with 125 votes in favor and 105 votes against it. So like this, bill was passed and it became an act.
But Daddy, how a bill becomes an act? Daddy, which bill it is? Electricity bill?
No, beta, no. Parliament is the supreme law-making body in India. A proposal for a law is called a bill. A bill becomes a law only when it is passed through proper procedures. There are two types of bills, ordinary bill and money bill. The proposal in which money-related matters or finances of a country are concerned are called as money bills, and others are called as ordinary bills. The money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha, and after it is sent to Rajya Sabha, and Rajya Sabha has to send the consent within 14 days, and after that the recommendation of president is being asked. Like this, a money bill is being passed. Rajya Sabha cannot change the provisions of money bill. It can only make its recommendations, which are not binding on the Lok Sabha. Then we will talk about ordinary bill. Ordinary bill can be introduced in both the houses. Every bill goes through 3 readings. First, in which bill is introduced. Second, in which objects are discussed. And third, clause by clause discussion is done. And this was the second one. And the third one, the bill as a whole is put to vote. If it is passed by simple majority, it is considered passed. Then it goes to the other house. Then same process is followed. If it is passed by majority in second house, then it is sent to the president for his assent. When the president signs the bill, it becomes a law. President can also make his recommendation.
Daddy, we are understanding all the information that you're explaining. But tell us something about president also.
See, Cherry, I have already explained to you that Indian government is divided into 3 parts. First one is legislature, that is law-making authority, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and second is executive. It includes President, Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. President is elected by an electoral college that comprises of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha members along with MLAs. Then, in order to become a president, a person must qualify all the things that a Lok Sabha member has to qualify, and other than that, he must be of 35 years of age. He is elected for 5 years term. And if he is not working properly, he can be removed. This process is called impeachment. In fact, if any of the person, that is government officer, is not working properly, he can be removed. As per the provisions of constitution, it is called impeachment. Other than this, Prime Minister is having 4 important powers. Executive powers, in which he can make appointments of important persons like Prime Minister, Chief Justice, Attorney, Auditor and Comptroller General, etc. And he is the Supreme Commander of Defense Office. Then second one is legislative powers. He can start and end the meetings of the Parliament. He addresses the joint sessions also. When Parliament is not in session, President can issue ordinance. Then a bill can only become a law when he signs. He also governs union territories. Other than these two, the third one is judicial powers. He appoints the judges of High Court and Supreme Court, and he can also reduce the penal sentences and can grant pardon. After that, last one is emergency powers. there are three important emergency powers. First is national emergency, then is president rule, then financial crisis.
Okay, Daddy. Now please explain all the things related to Prime Ministers also.
See, as I told you earlier, that during the Lok Sabha elections, the leader of the majority party is known as Prime Minister. The Council of Ministers also work according to him, and he decides which minister is to be given which department. He is official spokesperson of the government. I told you earlier when we were watching the TV, remember Cherry, remember? He coordinates the policies of government and supervises the work of department. An important thing is, if he dies and he resigns, the entire council of ministers have to resign. Understood?
Daddy, what are Council of Ministers then? Yes, Daddy. Who are they?
See, the ministers included in the Council of Ministers belong to three ranks. First, that were the highest, are the cabinet ministers. They make major policy decisions. The ministers of the state comes in the next rank. So, the defense minister that we were listening to, remember Nacheri, he is a cabinet minister. Then the second one are the ministers of the state, and the lower are the deputy minister. Each minister looks after a department of government like home minister, then defense minister, etc.
Okay, now I understood the role of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman during the briefing of 20 lakh crore reform package. Yes, and I too understood the role of Amit Shah.
Yes, you understood it correctly. These both comes under the Council of Ministers. But there is one important principle, the principle of collective responsibility. If a no confidence motion is passed against any minister of government in the Lok Sabha, the entire Council of Ministers has to resign. So, the mistake of single member will result to the downfall of entire government. Now I hope you understood everything correctly, and now we'll go to sleep. Come on.
Yes, Daddy, it's too late. Mama might be waiting for us. Yes, Daddy, let's go. Tomorrow morning is my online classes that I really love. So let's go to sleep. Good night. Good night.
Cherry, you're feeling sleepy. Okay, come on. Good night.
I hope all of you understood the animated summary nicely and enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more such videos.